Yo, what up, One Coalition? Hey, look, thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel. Thanks to all my people who stay focused on this goal and knowing that this bullshit that this man talks about, um, the FBA is a separatist cult, you know what I'm saying, here to divide us, sent by the government. But Dr. Smalls came on Tariq's live and they went and had a discussion because I guess Tariq seen what Dr. Smalls had said before about, you know what I'm saying, us being Africans, that he's not going to let go of Africa. And that man shouldn't, because that man's from South Carolina and that man knows that Africans came over here. He kept his roots. Speaking on the Gullah Geechee people and all of that right there, the Maroons and all of that, they're African people. So he went on Tariq's broadcast, and Tariq thought that he would backpedal, but he didn't. He really didn't. Up until the point where I gotta salute Tariq Nasheed, because Tariq actually sat quiet and let him talk. Even though he tried to throw his little division points out there, he still sat quiet and he let this man get his part across because he knows truth. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Smalls came over here and was showing how we were African people. Like, the indigenous people who were here were African people. It comes from Africa. Everything's from Africa. If you have melanin in your skin, you're from Africa. So I'm gonna just play this snippet of the conversation, and I want to get y'all input at the end of it, and I'll come back with my conclusion. Yo, Want Coalition, like, comment, subscribe.
But I knew the direction you were going in.
Yeah.
And I knew that story needed to be told.
Yes, indeed.
Excuse me.
Yes, indeed. Now, brother, yeah, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. And no one wants that story told, because part of that story is the indigenous Africans who was here before the slave ships came, who gave sanctuary to those who ran away from that process.
Yeah.
And then those two groups would amalgamate to produce much of our community that we know in North America today. But nobody talks about that. And I remember when I first encountered them, when I first came to New York, one of the biggest Indian museums in the Northeast was in Harlem, 155th and Broadway. They've since moved it down to downtown on the other side of Wall Street, in what they call the houses where they used to sell us and the products.
Yeah.
But it was out here, and I would go there, and they had these mummies, right? These shrunken little black people. And they were calling them Indians.
Wow.
And I can never figure, why is these little nappy heads, short people, like pygmies, what we call pygmies or twa people, right? They had them mummified.
Wow.
And they had them on display as the people who, they didn't lie. These were the indigenous population in North America.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a drawing now. I'm talking about the mummified bodies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's still there. It's in the Customs House now.
Oh, wow.
In downtown Manhattan, the Customs House. And I was baffled, because I couldn't process that. In the first few years, I think it was about 25 before I really got it. I first saw them when I was 18.
Yeah.
But I came to New York. I love to go to that museum. Something just kept bringing me back there. But there was these black people.
And when we
these
look
little black.
Right. And when we look at maps from the 1500s, the early maps that the European explorers drew, when they drew the indigenous people, they always drew them as dark-skinned and nappy-head. We show a lot of this in the movie. Have you seen that?
Yes. And because they knew, I think it's Brother Chase wrote the book where he talks about the 19 Europeans who writes.
Yes.
Who they encountered. We know Columbus called them Ethiopians. We know Verrazano called them Ethiopians. We know William Penn called them blacks and Africans and Ethiopians. So multiple of the people they call their exploring heroes wrote about the population they found here. And that population was an African population, a black population, a nappy.
Bang, there you hear it. One Coalition. This is somebody who is well respected and very knowledgeable in African history and how we were here. Like I always say, we were here. African people were here. We never lost our insight. None of that shit. We always knew who we were. We always knew that. Now you have this FBA shit who coming over here trying to act like they were here and they were separate from Africa. You cannot lose your history. Regardless of how much you try to shake it, and regardless of how much this man try to act like he's intellectually on that level to separate us as a people, he can't do it. He will not do it because you still have elders and you still have people who have the research and have been in the field and know what's going on to share the same knowledge that we are. How is it that the Europeans know that we're the same people and niggas is acting like we different? What's wrong with y'all, man? Y'all wake the fuck up, man. This is Want Coalition. We are the same. We ain't gonna never change. You can't take this melanin out your skin. You can't claim no motherfucking separatists from Africans because we are the foundation of the world. We are the original people. We the original breed from the world. Regardless of what you try to shake, you can't shake it. You're African. So accept it, embrace it, and let's move forward. This content gonna continue to come. Man, shout out to everybody who is understanding and knowledgeable about certain things, man. Y'all wake up, man. Shout out to Dr. Smalls. And I ask this y'all, you know what I'm saying, like, comment, subscribe, and I ask that the FBA do the same thing. Yo, Want Coalition. Bang.